It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Marc Viquez, who is the owner of the Ballpark Hunters. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How about yourself, Brandon?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start a sports tour stadium?
Well, I've been going to ballparks since I was about 4 years old. And as far as I can remember, every time I went on vacation, I would always ask my mom or dad to take me to a baseball game or to an arena football game or minor league game, any type of a sporting event that was taking place at the time. It wasn't always just baseball, but baseball definitely was my passion and my favorite. So it's always been embedded in me. It's something that I've always done. Each summer my mom and dad would travel someplace, and it would usually be for 2 3 weeks. So chances are there was some sort of baseball stadium or soccer venue to visit along the way. So it's always been with me. And uh, as a young child, I had a video camera. I would walk around with these giant video cameras, and sometimes I would be allowed to take them into a ballpark, especially a minor league ballpark in the early 90s. So I always captured footage. And then, of course, that led to your iPhone many, many years later, where you can just record a whole lot more and not have to carry a bulky video camera with a VHS tape that you insert into it, because that's exactly what that was at one time. So I would say the first time I made a video was when I went to a ballpark in South Carolina called Mirmo Field. It's in Orangeburg. It's not used for minor league baseball anymore, but I was just really interested in this ballpark. I had a chance to go inside. I shot some video. When I went home, I realized I had about 6 7 minutes worth of material, and I all edited and put it into one condensed video and posted it on YouTube. And then I realized I can do this for a lot of other ballparks. So that's kind of when I started getting the bug. And it wasn't until the pandemic of this year that I really started kicking it into overdrive, because I had so much time on my hands to look at old computers, look at old videotapes, not videotapes, look at old, I have an old camcorder that I haven't used in about 4 years. I was able to get material out of that. And I just said, well, I got nothing else to do. Let me just kind of work on my YouTube videos and push it out and give it a name, a logo, do everything that YouTube creators do that I wasn't doing. I've had my channel for about 7 years. I just really never pushed it. I would just have a random video up every now and then. Now I'm doing it weekly and trying to get the message out through social media about the channel to improve my subscriptions.
Can you talk about, of course, your YouTube channel?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can you talk about, of course, your YouTube channel and what you like promote,
Oh
what
yeah,
videos you have up there?
yeah. My YouTube channels, I post new content every Monday around 12, and that is just my visits to different stadiums. Now it's called the Ballpark Hunter, but you'll also find me at a basketball game, a hockey game, a soccer game, things of that nature. So it encompasses all types of sports. So it's just me in a venue for about 5 minutes. Some of my other videos are a little bit longer, but 5 minutes to 7 minute videos of me just talking about a ballpark and the food, the concessions, the merchandise, anything that kind of grabs my attention or strikes my fancy, I'll discuss on my YouTube channel. They're short. I try to be myself. I try to be funny. And, like I said, it's just me at a ballpark or at a stadium. Sometimes I get to talk to mascots, or sometimes I get to talk to fans. So each video is a little bit different. As I improve and move on, I think I have a little bit of a concept of what I want to do. So I also include trips to local breweries. I also include trips to local restaurants and try out regional food. Something I would like to do at a minor league ballpark if we ever can get playing baseball again is to maybe sample some of their unique items that they serve there. Uh, whether it's a funky hamburger or some crazy hot dog with oddball toppings. I like to experiment and do a video based on some of the food. For example, I was in Florence, Kentucky this year, and I had one of their conies, which is a little mini hot dog topped with Cincinnati style chili, which is a unique concept that they serve in that city. And it's loaded with cheddar cheese. So, I should have done a video where I just focus on Skyline or, the coney and shoot it that way. But yeah, it's all about stadiums. It's food, beer, travel. I try to hit all the notes that people would like to do when they travel to a stadium.
How do you come up with some of your content ideas that you have?
I just, I come up with the content just because of interest. When I was in Binghamton, I went to a game, so I did a video of the game, and then I tried something called the Speedy, which was a local regional food item. So I did a video on that. It's just kind of whatever's on my mind. When I go to a ballpark, when I travel, it's usually me thinking of what I'm going to do after the game or before the game. So if there is something of interest that I think that my YouTube subscribers would like to watch, I definitely want to record that and put something together. I probably should think of some other things like something I've been doing recently is going into the gift shops and recording the merchandise that some of the teams sell there. That's been getting a lot of positive feedback from people that don't normally get to these gift shops or to these stadiums. They may like colors, they may like a certain type of hat or style. So I come up with content that just I think people would like to watch, and definitely things that I like to do. I'm not doing anything that I would hate. Like I'm not a big NASCAR guy, so I'm probably not going to go to a NASCAR race and record myself talking about it, even though I probably should do that since I do live in Indianapolis, or Indy Racing League, I should say. It's not just NASCAR.
Can you talk about some of your favorite places that you've been for your podcast?
Oh yeah, I do like the minor league ballparks. CHS Field in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is not going to be an affiliate of the Twins. Love that stadium. If you watch the video, it's from two separate journeys that I condensed into one visit. And what I like about CHS Field is that there's always something unexpected there. The game that I went to, they allowed all the fans to come on the field after the game, and they pulled out a bunch of food trucks on the warning track, and everybody was allowed to walk on the field. I really wish I had more footage of that because I think that would have made for a nice video. But at the time, I think I was just so excited and having a good time that I wasn't even thinking about it. So I guess looking back, that's just what's a great thing about going to a baseball game is that you can just be a kid again and enjoy the moment. First Energy Stadium in Reading, which is home of the Philadelphia Phillies AA affiliate. Old school ballpark, but they have modernized it to the point where you get a little bit of both worlds. Underneath their grandstand is an array of pictures and photos that is almost like a museum. If I can go back to Reading, I would just do a video underneath the grandstand and talk about all the great memorabilia that hangs on the walls there. Just a truly fun and exciting place to be. Carnival-like atmosphere, tons of mascots, outdoor bars, great food. Some of the food is dirt cheap too. So, I think funnel cakes are about $3-4, which isn't unheard of these days. Brooklyn, Cyclones home is MCU Park. Just an array of colors, neon lights, the beach is right next door. You got the smell of Nathan's Famous. Frank's coming from the boardwalk area. Great promotions, cheap tickets, place is always packed. And when you go there, you're always going to have a good picture and a good video to take. I can just go to Brooklyn and just record scenes, documentary style of people walking around. I think that'd be interesting. Victory Field here in Indianapolis is gorgeous. I love the lawn section. It's this giant lawn seating area that's usually packed on the weekends. and you see families there with kids and picnic baskets and blankets. Beautiful scenery from the downtown buildings. Just a fun place to watch baseball. Very simple, very relaxing on a Sunday, or I mean on a summer afternoon or evening. And then another stadium that I really like is Lineport Stadium in Pennsylvania. It's not too far from the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs ballpark. Old school stadium built in the 1930s. It's only used for amateur ball. It's about 1,000-seat facility, but you do feel like you step back in time when you walk into that place. The biggest feature is the covered grandstand, and of course this large boulder in center field, which the field goes on a steep incline, and so any ball that's hit out there, outfielder has to run up a hill to try to catch it. So very, very fun ballpark that I was unaware of until recently. So that's what I like about doing this YouTube channel. You sometimes discover ballparks you were unaware of just by being at the right place at the right time or talking to somebody. So that's one of the ballparks I can think of that I was unaware of until I did some traveling and had a conversation with a local ballpark fan.
Can you talk about, of course, what is the, like, how do you decide what ballparks you go to, like, whenever, of course, baseball games are happening and sports games in general?
Well, there was a time when I would only focus on, major facilities, but I would say the pandemic really made me think about it because there's a lot of smaller leagues that play in very nondescript ballparks. I mean, the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League operates mostly in Ohio and Michigan. Some of their ballparks are glorified high school fields or community college stadiums. They're not to me, I'm a little bit of a snob. It's like, that's not really a ballpark. But, this summer, I thought I was going to go to some of those because they were close and I was desperate for any kind of content. So I think I'm at the place now that any ballpark, any kind of a field that's hosting a sporting event would be viable for me to record because who am I to say what a ballpark should be? Who am I to say that I can't go to a 500-seat ballpark, make a recording, and someone's not going to enjoy watching that? So right now, I will pick any kind of baseball game that's going on, maybe with the exception of some high school games. But if it's summer collegiate, professional, amateur, college, major, minor, I'm going to probably record it. So I don't have a criteria. If it's a ballpark and if a game's being played, I'm going to be there. If I'm there and I have a camera, I'm going to record and hopefully do a video.
What are some of your future ballparks that you want to visit?
Future ballparks. Well, right now I'd like to get to ABC Supply Stadium in Beloit. That's currently under construction in Beloit, Wisconsin. That's on my itinerary for 2021. I'd also like to get to the new Loeb Field up in Lafayette, Indiana. That's also currently under construction. They knocked down the old ballpark and they're building a new facility in its place. This past year, I had plans to go to Charlotte and Kannapolis and Gastonia. Well, if I make that trip again this year, Gastonia has a new ballpark. So I'll have the chance to see maybe the old ballpark and the new ballpark. Major League, I'd definitely like to get to the new ballpark in Texas. That is, I'm on my list of Major League ballparks I have not attended yet. And of course, if I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I want to get to Dr. Pepper Ballpark or Dr. Pepper Field. I'm not quite sure what the name is in Frisco, because anybody that I've talked to that has been to the Frisco Rough Riders has said it's their favorite minor league ballpark. And I just want to see if that's true or not. Plus, they have that lazy river in the outfield. I love to hop in there and do a video from that perspective. So those are a few places I'd like to get to, along with the new ballpark in Wichita, Kansas. I'd love to get out to El Paso. I'd love to get out to, I'd like to get out to Sacramento. I just, I'm at the point now where, you have to sort of plan your trips. And there's so many ballparks, so many out there that I would love to just visit. But I think I'd like to get to the ones that are close to me first, that I can drive to, maybe come back in a day or stay overnight. But there's so many out there. I think I'm always going to be traveling to a ballpark for the rest of my life until I can't.
Can you talk about who were some of your inspiration, such as were you big fans of Zach Schomburg?
I'm sorry, who was of Zach?
Zach Schomburg, the baseball hunter, the one that goes to all the major league stadiums.
Oh, well, I think it's a special type of person that wants to go to every type of major league game, or wants to visit or hop in a car and drive 8 hours and visit a bunch of ballparks every day. Like my idea of a vacation sometimes, and maybe I need to tell myself you can do other things, Mark, besides go to a ballpark. My idea of a vacation is going to an area and seeing a baseball game every day and then coming right back. To me, that's amazing and fun. That's not the case to my wife or to some of my friends who have, went on a trip with me. I would say the inspiration to get me sort of going with reviewing ballparks initially, and this is before making videos, was probably Charlie Zeb, who's got this amazing website, and it's been up for quite some time. I would say it's been up for almost 20 years. This gentleman has been to every type of minor league ballpark imaginable. I don't think there's one out there that he hasn't seen. And at the time, you got to think about it. It's 2000, 2001. This is when you didn't have a wireless internet connection. I would go on his website and I would see pictures of ballparks, minor league stadiums that I've never seen before, never heard of. Maybe you've heard the name, but you never saw what they look like. And this was my first, this was my introduction to some of these great places and facilities that I wanted to get out to. And I remember he had a picture of the old Busch Stadium in Indianapolis, which had not been used for about 5 years. I thought they knocked that place down, but they didn't. So I went out there and I took a look at it myself. This is before I lived in Indianapolis. I was actually going to school in Indiana State, which was about 70 miles away in Terre Haute. So I drove out to Indianapolis. I looked around the old ballpark. I was able to get into the stadium, walk around underneath the concourse, get up onto the main concourse. And at this time, the ballpark was abandoned and deserted. It was overgrown with weeds. It was in squalid condition. But I thought this place was knocked down. Well, today they converted into an apartment complex. They kept the shell of the stadium up. So if you drive by it, it still looks like the ballpark. They still have the field. They still have the outfield walls and the scoreboard. But for many years, that was abandoned. And that's because, and I was unaware of it, but because of Charlie Zeb, I was able to find out about it. So yeah, Charlie Zeb definitely was the guy who got me started on reviewing ballparks, interested in what these ballparks look like. And he's still going strong. I think only the pandemic was able to stop his travels this year, but I guarantee you he'll be out to some of these new places next year.
That's pretty cool. What advice would you give upcoming future ballpark hunters looking to get into it?
Well, I would tell them this: if you want, there's different types of people. There's folks that just want to go out there, see the game, take pictures, and not share it with the rest of the world. There's others who want to make a YouTube channel, who want to make a blog. It just depends. It's your YouTube channel, it's your blog. If you're looking to make money off of it, best of luck, because I'm not making any money off of my YouTube channel. It's just something I'm doing as a hobby, for fun, for a legacy. If that day comes where I get that magic number of subscriptions and viewership, I'll be happy, but I don't know when that's going to come. That could come when I'm 70 years old, which might be beneficial by then. But I'm doing it for the love. Doing it for the love. Do this for the love. Do this for fun. Do this with somebody that is interested. I have a lot of friends that love to come on these trips with me, but then they don't realize how intense I get when I go to a game and how many games I want to see and how I just walk around. So anybody who's looking to start a blog, anybody who's looking to start a YouTube video, make sure whatever you're showcasing, whatever you're providing, you're doing it from the heart. You're doing it for the love, and definitely, make sure you can add something a little bit different or new, because there's a lot of ballpark hunters, a lot of ballpark geeks, whatever you want to call it, ballpark chasers, ballpark stampeders. There's a lot of us out there that love, looking forward to the summer or the spring and going to a baseball game, and not just one, multiples.
That's wonderful. Where can my listeners find, of course, the Ballpark Hunters on social media?
Yes, YouTube is Ballpark Hunter. So go to YouTube, type in Ballpark Hunter. You can also type in my name, Marc Viquez, Viquez. That would also pop up, but just type in Ballpark Hunter and you'll get to my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, make comments. I get comments, but I like to get a few more comments. I want to know what people would like to see me review or what ideas they can give me. I'm always up for that because I could be missing out on something. I could be overlooking something at the ballpark that somebody may want to see. So Ballpark Hunter on YouTube, new content every Monday up until June at this point. I'm still making new material. Hopefully I'm at a stadium or some kind of facility sometime within the next few months to continue that. But there's always new content up there, and there's plenty of older content as well. There's over 200 and some videos. So if you're not doing anything and you want to check me out at some ballparks, spend some time with me and let me know how I'm doing.
That's wonderful. Thank you again for your interview, and best of luck with the Ballpark Hunters.
All right. Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Mark, for your interview, and best of luck.
Take care.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.